For more information, check out my blog, Dhukai.com. Follow me. Hi guys! In today's video, I want to talk about the new Makeup Forever Artist Shadows and just do a quick review and give you my thoughts on these shadows. I mentioned these in my September favorites video, which if you haven't seen, I will link somewhere here. And I said that if you guys wanted a review to leave a comment below, and so many of you guys asked for a review, so here it is. So I thought that I would do this as a review slash mini tutorial. So stay tuned to the end of this video to see how I got this eye makeup look. And if you're not interested in the review and you just want to see the eye makeup look, then I'll put a little timestamp here. It is just an eye makeup tutorial. I didn't do my face or anything like that. Showing you guys how I use my artist shadows. And one of my techniques that I like to do, I share some tips and tricks on how you can make one eyeshadow look like you used two eyeshadows and made it look like you put in so much work, but really it's just all in the brushes. So that's at the end of the video. Let's go ahead and get into my thoughts and my review on these shadows. So I only have 3 of them. These are the 3 that I picked up. They look like that. I will be picking up some more of these because I love these so much. This is like my palette. This is something that I would take with me when I travel and just use this entire palette alone. And this is actually the entire palette that I used to get ready for my brother's wedding, which if you guys haven't seen that tutorial, I'll link it somewhere here as well. I love these shadows. I have 3 different finishes. So this is a matte finish, this is a diamond finish, and this is a metallic finish. I think they have 5 finishes. They also have an iridescent finish and a satin finish. So let's talk about price first. For one shadow, it is $24 Canadian. I know it's a little bit cheaper in the States, so if you guys are in the States, then you're lucky. You can get them in singles, doubles, or a trio palette. I personally just went for the trio palette because it actually ends up being cheaper per shadow. The palette actually ends up being $1, and then I paid $56 with tax in Canada for all 3 of these, and I know that sounds really expensive. It's like, whoa, $56 for 3 eyeshadows. You can get a whole palette for that. You can get like a naked palette or a Lorac palette for that price. Like, are you crazy? Like, those are super expensive. But if you look at it in a different perspective, if you were to buy a single MAC eyeshadow, it would cost you around $18. And with the trio, that's actually how much each eyeshadow comes to. So $56 each eyeshadow came to about 18 bucks. When you compare these to MAC shadows, you get much more product compared to a MAC shadow, and the pigmentation and blendability of these are like not even comparable to anything. These are the best shadows that I have ever worked with. Now, Makeup Forever says, I'm just looking at the Sephora website, they say that it's a highly blendable gel to powder eyeshadow and powder blush. I guess you can use some of the eyeshadows as blushes as well, obviously not these ones. Although this one right here would be a really pretty highlight color if you're a deeper skin tone. Yeah, so they say that it's a gel to powder eyeshadow. Now, the only other gel to powder eyeshadow that I have used is by Estee Lauder, and it's their powder jelly eyeshadows. And those are actually really nice, but when I compare those gel to powder eyeshadows to these ones, no words for these ones. These ones are absolutely incredible. And the sun just came out and made me look like I'm glowing. Sorry about the lighting, guys. I'm really trying to get it fixed. Now that the seasons have changed in Toronto, like, it's gloomy a lot, and then sometimes you get a random sun moment, like I am right now. So let's just embrace this Simba moment. Anyways, the thing that I love about these is that you can customize your palette to whatever suits your needs. I think they have over 200 shadows, which is insane. They also have a new palette out, I believe. It's like their shadow box, or I forget what it's called, but it comes with mini versions of the shadows. I think there's maybe like 12 of them, which is like about 60 bucks. I personally prefer just making my own palette because I know that these are the colors that I'm going to reach for all the time. It's travel friendly and little goes a long way. These are the most blendable eyeshadows that I have ever used in my entire life. And I own a lot of palettes. I have from drugstore to super high-end eyeshadows, and nothing compares to these shadows right here. The thing that I love about these shadows is that they are, like I said, super blendable. They're very pigmented, so a little goes a very, very long way. They are extremely buttery, And one thing that stood out to me the most is, for me personally, I love matte shadows. But the problem with matte shadows is that sometimes they can be chalky, they're not as heavily pigmented, they're really hard to blend sometimes and can be a disaster. So the matte shadow is actually the first one that I gravitated towards when I went to the Makeup Forever counter, and I was blown away. This is actually the only matte shadow that I have, but the pigmentation on this is incredible. It is so buttery. It does not end up being chalky or patchy or anything like that when you blend it out onto your lid. I mean, I'll show you closer swatches of this, but that's one of the things that stood out to me the most. Because I love matte shadows so much, I find them a little hard to work with. And these matte shadows are absolutely incredible. And just all of the finishes are incredible. Now, if you find blending really hard, let's say you have really hooded lids, you have a heavy fold, you have like a strong prominent bone here, and it just makes blending really hard, and you haven't found any shadow that you can work with, or you just think that you can't do it, it's all in the shadow. I promise you. For me personally, like, I have two different eyes, so blending on my right eye is a dream. I can create such a nice wing and just blend it out evenly, but then my left eye has a heavier fold over here and the bone comes down farther, so it makes blending in my crease a little bit harder and kind of leaves a little bit of a line, or gives the illusion of a little bit of a line. But whenever I use these shadows, nothing. Like, it just makes it so easy to blend. They are a little bit on the pricey side, but like I said, if you are a makeup artist and you want to build your kit, or if you are a beginner and you just want some shadows that you can use on a daily basis with no fuss and just be good to go, these are going to be a lifesaver for you. You're absolutely going to love these. I really suggest you go to the counter, swatch them, play with them, try them out. You will not be disappointed. You're going to love these. It's kind of like an addiction. You're just going to want more because they are so easy to work with. The finishes are beautiful. They're very long lasting as well. They don't fade by the end of the night or anything like that. Like I said, I wore these to my brother's wedding and it looked like, at the end of the night, it pretty much looked like how my shadow looked when I first put it on, which was really impressive. I really am so happy with these. I really suggest that you try them out. I'm making these seem like they're the best shadows on the market, and in my opinion, I think they are. They totally get an A++ in my books. I think that they're awesome. Good job, Makeup Forever. I haven't done any review videos before, but if you guys would like to see some more review videos, some of the new products that are coming out on the market, I would definitely love to do that for you guys because I love makeup. I love everything makeup. I breathe and live makeup, so I would be more than happy to do that for you guys and show you guys some of the new things that are coming out and my thoughts on them. Everyone's going to have a different opinion. Like, some people are going to love certain things and some people are going to hate them. That's totally normal, but yeah, I'd love to give you guys my opinion on them. I actually just picked up the Lorac Mega Pro palette as well, which I posted on my Instagram, and so many of you guys were asking for a review on that and some swatches. So if you guys would like to see that, please comment below and let me know, and I'll definitely do that for you guys. I think that's about it. Give this video a great big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Please subscribe if you're not, and if you guys would like to see how I got this eye makeup look, then please keep watching. Starting off by priming my lids first, I'm using my Essence I Love Stage Eyeshadow Primer. I thought I'd use more drugstore products to mix in with the Makeup Forever Artist shadows since they are a little bit on the pricey side. I thought it'd balance it out. So I'm just going to blend that onto my lid with my Sigma 3D HD Precision brush, but you can just use your fingers if you'd like. I'm blending this all the way up to my brow bone so that it kind of acts as a highlight for my brows as well. Because I'm going to be pretty minimal on the lids, you'll see. I don't want to put too much shadow and I don't want to do too much work. So blending that from all the way from my lash line all the way to the arch of my brows and kind of helping shape my brows with this as well. Then I'm going to be using my Makeup Forever Artist Shadow Palette, and I'm using the lightest color. Now here's a little trick for you. I'm going to be using two brushes. One is a very densely packed brush. This one's the densely packed one. What this one is going to do is going to pack on a lot of color and make the color show up stronger. And the fluffy brush is going to diffuse the color and give it a nice light wash of color. So by using these two brushes with only one shadow, it's going to look like you used two different shadows when really you just used one. So I'm taking the dense brush and I'm picking up the lightest color in my Makeup Forever Artist Shadow Palette that I created, and I'm packing this all over my entire lid. and I'm stopping right at the crease. So you're going to see I'm picking up the product and I'm packing it onto that brush. This brush is going to give you the most color payoff as opposed to the other fluffy brush that I showed you like a minute ago. So packing this on all over my entire lid, and you'll see the colors coming out really intense. This is just a trick that I like to use when I'm in a rush or I really don't feel like doing too much work on my lids. This gives the illusion that you used 2 or 3 shadows and like it took you forever to blend out and you put a lot of work into it, but really you didn't. It's just my little cheat. So packing this all over the entire lid, and you'll see it's not blended at all. It's like, okay, what are you doing? But then after I pack on this color, which you really don't need much of because these shadows are so pigmented, I'm going to take my fluffy brush and I'm going to dip it into this same eyeshadow. And I'm going to dip it head first. Like I'm not using the side of the brush, I'm using the tip of the brush, just the very tip. And I'm not taking too much because I already have the same eyeshadow on my lid anyways. I'm taking a very little amount and you can see it right there on my brush. And I'm just going to take this into my crease and really blend this out. Now, like I said before, a fluffy brush shears out the color, so it doesn't give you too much color payoff. It just really blends it out, softens it up, and gives it the illusion that the color is a different color because it's not showing up true to color, I guess. Does that make sense? Like it's shearing out the color to make it look like you used a different color in the crease when really you just used the exact same eyeshadow. I hope that makes sense. So just blending this out into my crease and winging it out and creating a shape that I like. And I'm not picking up too much product. I literally just dipped it once and that's it. So as you can see, it looks like a really nice gradient. It looks like we used 2 shadows when really we just used 1. And the trick is in the brushes. Using a dense brush and then a fluffy brush. It makes a really big difference. And then if you feel like you lost some color on the lid, you can just pack on some more and you'll be good to go. And just blending a little more. So I'm going to be using the same trick on my lower lash line. I'm taking the dense brush, picking up some color, and I'm buffing this onto my lower lash line. So this is going to disperse all of the color on the lower lash line. And at the very edge of the color, I'm going to take my fluffy brush and I'm going to shear it out. So it's going to do the same effect that we had on the top lid. So the color is going to be stronger closer to the lash line, and then wherever I use the fluffy brush, it's just going to shear it out and make it look like we blended it out. It's nice and seamless. It looks like we used a different shadow to do this, but really it's all just one shadow. That's how I roll. I like to use one shadow and just get it done. Lazy. Anyways, to highlight my inner corner, I'm going to take this L'Oreal Silk Kiss-Me eyeliner. This stuff is really creamy and soft. I really like it. So I'm going to apply this into the very arch of my brow just to give it a little bit of shine there. I didn't want it all over because the lids are very shiny. I didn't want to be shiny everywhere. And what this is going to do is just going to lift the brows and give you an instant eyebrow lift. And then I'm also going to take that same color and I'm going to pop it into the inner corner and I'm going to blend it with my fingers just by pushing it in. I'm not applying too much of this because I want the eyeshadow to be the most prominent. I don't want a very strong highlight. I love this technique. This is pretty much my everyday technique. Whenever I'm getting ready, I'll use a dense brush and a fluffy brush, and it makes it look like I did a lot when I didn't. Then I'm going to take my favorite L'Oreal liquid eyeliner pen and I'm going to line very close to my lash line. So I'm just going to tilt my head back like this and I'm going to take the pen, and I'm not going to use the tip of the pen. I'm going to lay the pen kind of horizontally and just use the base of the pen, and I'm going to line very close to my lash line. You guys can wing out your eyeliner, you can do whatever you like, but for me, this is what I like to do for daytime. I line very close to my lashes, and what this does, it gives the illusion of fuller, thicker lashes without having a dramatic eyeline. You really don't even have to be precise with this. I'm just doing small little strokes just to kind of fill in the lash line area to make it look like my lashes are fuller and thicker. And I'm also taking this onto my lower lash line as well, but I'm not going all the way on the outer corner of the lower lash line. I'm starting a little bit inside because I don't want it to close off the eye. I want the eye to look really open. But this time I'm using the tip of the brush because I don't want that much product. And I'm just running it along my lower lash line. I'm not going on the outer corner, and I'm not going into the inner corner as well. And this is just going to give the illusion of a larger, wider bigger eyes while defining the lashes at the same time. And then it's just time for mascara. I'm using my two favorite L'Oreal mascaras together, and the entire eye makeup look is done. There it is with the mascara on. For my lower lashes, I just took the L'Oreal False Fiber Lashes mascara and I applied it at the base of my lower lashes. I didn't take the mascara all the way down my entire lash. That's what I like to do for daytime, so my lower lashes don't look too strong, but they still look defined. So that's about it for this look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!